Hello there. Welcome to my show, COVID-19 Update by Heerak on June 2nd, 2020. And this is the 2-month anniversary of my show, which started on April 2nd. And in 2 months, obviously, now we have COVID-19 killing 1,000 per day. On average. And now we have George Floyd protests rocking the nation. So in 2 months of my show, you have two major events occurring in the USA, and neither of them has stopped. So it's an interesting time. And you see all these people kneeling, and many of them are praying. They're praying to Jesus Christ. Many soldiers who go out to fight, who risk their life, they're afraid, I assure you, of death, of dying before their children and leaving their wives widows. And they pray, they kneel in prayer. These US Marines who are very tough, they kneel in prayer. Many football players kneel in prayer before they start football games. And if you have been to a church, you see a lot of people kneeling in prayer. In fact, if you go to a Catholic church, you see people kneeling before they sit down on their chair. And before they leave the church, they kneel before the cross. Like the soldier in the center, they kneel before the crucifix to show that they're under the authority of Jesus Christ, who is King. And you see people wearing cross on their neck as a way of symbolically kneeling before Jesus throughout the day, while they work, while they study, while they teach students, while they police the streets, while they protest in the streets, while they treat COVID-19 patients, while they sit in the Senate or the US House or in the mayor's office or the governor's office. The United States is one nation under God. And when we say one nation under God, we don't just mean a generic God, we mean Jesus Christ. Over 300 million Americans are Christians who love Jesus. Less than 30% of Americans go to college. Less than 1% of Americans are gay, lesbian, transgender, or bisexual. Less than 1% of America are Satan worshipers. Less than 2% of America are Jewish. We don't have that many Muslims or Hindus or Buddhists in the United States. Whether you're Latino, Asian, white, black, the United States is over 90% Christian, religiously, culturally, socially. And many Americans say their greatest love is for Jesus Christ. They submit to the rule of Christ the King. And they kneel before King Jesus, physically and in their attitudes. And this is the America that many world people know, a Christian nation, that was founded in the principles of the Christian faith. A nation that sends most Christian missionaries around the world. And many thank America for their missionaries. Koreans who used to be Buddhists, who converted to Christianity. Africans who used to worship indigenous religions, now they are Christians. Africa is one of the most Christian areas in the world. Latinos who used to be Aztecs and Incas who used to worship foreign gods, idols, and offer sacrifices. All of Latin America has been successfully Christianized by Christian soldiers who kneel before the feet of Jesus. And now every Latino kneels at the feet of Jesus. And this is the story of America. A nation that kneels before Jesus. And that is why, I have these photos of people kneeling. And that's why I like Colin Kaepernick, the fact that he kneeled. I like that because it shows that you recognize God as being over you, that God is your authority. But why else would you kneel? And President Trump gets all upset and angry because Colin Kaepernick kneels. What's his problem? I mean, don't have a cow, dude. Yeah, that always rubbed me the wrong way when, Trump gets all huffy puffy because other people kneel before Jesus. I would love to see President Trump kneel at the foot of the cross and recognize that Jesus Christ is God. Clap with me if you want to see President Trump kneel before the cross of Jesus, whether you're Republican or Democrat or independent like Heerak and Kim, because I am independent candidate for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th district, which is Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County. And most people in Virginia are Christians, whether they're Democrat, Republican, independent, whether they're Black, white, Latino, Asian. This is a Christian nation. So if you don't like it, leave. Yeah. Anyway, so you don't know whether I'm joking or not, do you? Yeah. So I love the United States of America. You know how Texans are proud of themselves. They said on 8th day God created Texas. It's just like that's how I feel. When I came to America, I was thinking, wow, I'm going to a Christian nation. My father was like, we're going to a Christian nation, kids. In Korean though. We were so excited to go to a Christian nation because Korea, South Korea is a Buddhist nation and we're Christians. So we're so excited about going to the Christian nation, I remember that as an elementary kid. We are going to the Christian nation. And so that kind of excitement exists for a lot of people because, Korea was missionized by American missionaries. If you want for American missionaries, Orthodox Presbyterian Church missionaries, Presbyterian Church of America missionaries, Southern Baptist Convention missionaries, United Methodist Church missionaries, Assemblies of God missionaries. There won't be any Christians in Korea. But because of these missionaries from America, Korea became a Christian nation. And that's why, Koreans are loyal to America, Christian America, because, we know what Christian America did for South Korea. And so, when we talk about North Korea, we talk about those communists, these ANTIFA type of people who hate Jesus, who wants atheism for everybody, who doesn't want Christian religion for people. They just hate Jesus. These Antifa types, the types that McCarthy era tried to quash unsuccessfully. So that's why you have Antifa, because of all these communist, socialist types, right? And so, I hate socialism, as you know. North Korea invaded South Korea in 1950 and tried to, make South Korea communist. Our greatest enemy, United States of America, our greatest enemy has always been communist. During the Cold War, uh, you have a communist Russia trying to nuke us and conquer us. And there were these liberal intellectuals in America teaching in America's universities who were card carrying communists. They call themselves communists. Thank God for the McCarthy era. We wiped them out, at least for a little bit. But they rose up again, and we have Antifa. Antifa. Yeah. So, yeah, you have these socialists keep coming back, throughout America, causing problems for us, And so maybe we need another McCarthy era. Who knows? But anyway, yeah. So communists have always been our enemies, whether it's USSR, and you could ask your parents and grandparents' generation how much America hated the USSR as a nation. We're one nation under God, Christian God, but these communist Russians kept saying, "Oh, God doesn't exist. You should all be atheists." Antifa, and so yeah, these like communist types, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, Americans have always hated these atheists and socialists and communists. And so I speak out against Antifa. I think they're like the lamest excuse for a group. I mean, I don't think we should legalize them because, we are an American nation and we respect freedom of speech, whether they're KKK, Aryan Nation, Antifa, they have the right to say what they want. Uh, you know, I mean, the day that we start killing off Aryan Nation, let's start killing off Antifa just to balance balance the balance. Yeah, but as long as we're not killing off like neo-Nazis, let's not kill off Antifa. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, let's be consistent. If we're going to illegalize Aryan Nation, let's illegalize Antifa. If we're going to prison Aryan Nation, let's imprison Antifa. If we're going to hunt down Aryan Nation members, let's hunt down Antifa members using our FBI, Homeland Security, just put them in prison forever or execute them, even better. Yeah, but insofar as we have the First Amendment and we're going to allow Aryan Nation members to get together and have their Aryan Nation meetings, because we're going to protect First Amendment, then let's say, let's allow Antifa members to get together and have their meetings. But I hate Antifa. I hate like socialist communists. So I mean, my version of a great nation is like arresting every Antifa members, putting them in prison, or executing them by electric chair. Better yet, hang them by the noose, by the neck. I think that's a more painful way to execute someone than electric chair or lethal injection. So like I would love to see an America where we round up Antifa and, these communist socialists, what I call traitors to United States of America, and then just like hang them up, and, until their neck breaks. Sometimes it takes like 10 minutes, sometimes it takes an hour, depending on how tough your neck is. That's what I like to see. Personally, that's my preference, to round up Antifa and then just as soon as they admit they're Antifa, I mean, they admitted their own guilt, just hang them up, and just buy the news, maybe at the nearest tree, and then watch their neck break. And so we can celebrate and say, America is a good nation. We're getting rid of communists and socialists. That's what I would prefer to see. But I know, we are a democracy and we have the First Amendment. And I understand President Trump, wanted to declare Antifa as a terrorist organization. I want that too. Personally, I would love to see Antifa declared as a terrorist organization. So I'm just like hoping that these Antifa, people will commit some terrorist acts, so we could declare them as domestic terrorist organization. But unfortunately, they haven't committed any large act of terrorism in the name of Antifa. Like blowing up a building or something. So we can't declare them a terrorist organization, in my opinion, because everybody, however offensive they are, and Antifa are really offensive. I hate Antifa, but uh, they have freedom of speech, you know. So yeah, as long as Antifa respects Aryan Nation right to engage in their activities, I say let Antifa live. But the moment Antifa is like, "Ooh, let's illegalize Aryan Nation," I say let's just hang all of them by the neck. Yeah, that's what I like to see. All the Antifa members hang by the neck until their neck is broken. I hate Antifa. I hate socialist communists. I hope they all die. But obviously, I hate communism, so I feel strongly about this. So I probably feel stronger than President Trump against Antifa. President Trump just wants to declare Antifa, a terrorist, group. I would like to have every member of Antifa executed by hanging, not by electric chair, not by lethal injection, because that's just not that painful, just a few seconds. I want them to like suffer before they die. That's what I love to see them like executed by hanging, not by electric chair because you're dead after like this is you're dead. Lethal injection, you die off in your sleep. I mean that's not even an execution, you know. I mean, geez, it's probably more painful to have a heroin overdose than a lethal injection. I mean that's what way to kill somebody, you know? I mean, that's like, Jesus, like a second of pain. But, hanging somebody by the neck, there's an execution that you can be proud of. And that's why I love to like round up all the Antifa members and just like execute them by hanging. Because I think technically we're allowed to do that legally as a nation. And I would choose that form of execution for Antifa because I think they need to suffer before they die. I don't think we should just execute them. I think we need to like torture them on the, and we're not torturing them really. I mean, torture isn't actually against the Bible, but because God created eternal damnation and hell. That's like eternal torture. God appointed Satan to torture you eternally if you go to hell. So I mean, God's not against torture, but I mean, you're not really torturing them physically. You're just hanging them by the neck, and then they're like strangulating. Like, I can't breathe, and then they're strangulating, and then they die. And it's very painful. They said like if you like get hung by the neck, you know what happens? You die not because of the broken neck sometimes, because you could have a broken neck and still live. Because there are Americans who fall from like 10th floor building and they break their neck, and the EMT comes and they stabilize the neck, and then they're paralyzed from neck down, but they're still alive. So you don't die just because your neck is broken. That's not why you die. You die because you can't breathe. I can't breathe, and then you die. So you have like respiratory arrest, meaning you stop breathing, and then you like have a heart attack and you die. So when you die by hanging, you're not dying because your neck has broken. You die because you're like, you can't breathe. You're asphyxiated right there, right? And then you stop breathing, and then your heart stops and you die. Because one of my nursing professors, she said there's only one true death, there's only one form of death, and that's cardiac death, when your heart stops. If your heart hasn't stopped, you haven't died. That's what she says. I'm like, whoa, heavy. But, yeah. But anyway, yeah, some people say that, I, she's a nursing professor. So, I mean, I'm sure her opinion is respected. I mean, it's probably one form of looking at death. We got confused, with 25 clinical nurse leader students, we got confused because we have another professor who says brain death is death. We're like, wait a minute. One of our professor tells us that there's only one type of death, and that's like when your heart dies. And Betsy, she's one of our clinical nurse leader members. And I think she may be like, one of the older generation. She has like 3 kids, and she's wonderful. She's amazing, very intelligent. Has an MBA from University of Indiana and worked for the federal government. And she's now, in this program graduating with me. And class of 2020. Hi, Betsy. She's like, a wise one. We all like look up to because she's like so wise. But she always makes that point, and I respect her for that because she brings the point up. And I could see like she's probably played a major leadership role wherever she worked in the federal government. You know, it was like she brings up this point, like, well, one of our professor mentioned that there's only one type of death, that's cardiac death, when your heart dies. And and she's brave because like the 24 of us, we're like sitting in our chair saying, "Oh, you are our professor. We are not worthy." So, like different professors have different ideas. And in every class where the professor speaks, we're like, 24 of us are like, we are not worthy. We just take their word for it. And it's like, it's so fake in a way, how people can be fake. Like 24 of us, we're like, whatever the professor says, it's okay, it's accurate. We are not worthy. If we could have polytheism America, we treat them like God. We just do whatever they want. We're like, we're not worthy. So when Melissa is teaching, and she's the one who says there's only one type of a death, that's a cardiac death, we say, we're not worthy. We believe you. And then we go to another professor, Professor Green, who says, cardiac death isn't the only form of death. We're like, oh, we're not worthy. We believe you. I'm like, I'm just looking at my like core members, and because now we're in Zoom, so we can't really look around. I'm just looking in the screen, and you can't see everybody because it doesn't show everybody at once, especially if there's like like if the professor has a file up, you only see like 4 people at the time, and you have to like scroll down like until you see like all 25 people and their expressions. And like, it's such work. You're like scrolling down with your finger. You're trying to look at all 4 of them, and you've lost the moment. When you're in a 3D classroom, just quickly do a sweep. Just like, and you may not even you need to use the neck. And you do a quick sweep where you just kind of turn around and and you just kind of look at your fellow students. It's like less than a second. You see everybody at once. It's like, boom, you've seen everybody's expression. But like on Zoom, you like, sometimes you have like 30 faces in front, but it's like, whoa, it's like, it's hip. Sometimes I fall asleep because it's like hypnotizing with all like 25 faces on the screen at the same time. And like they're moving around and they have the different things on the back, like background. And you're like, whoa, this is like, it's like the wheel that's turning with like, it's like, whoa, you could like become hypnotized by just looking at the Zoom screen too long with all this like 30 faces with their little expressions all different. It's like, whoa. And it's like within like 8.5 by 11 or like, 11 by 16 screen. And you're like, whoa. you start losing sense of a 3D world, everything is 2D. But like when you're in an actual classroom, do you remember how it was when you were in classroom? I mean, we are so much now in Zoom. You may not remember a 3D classroom, but in 3D classroom, just like 1 second sweep, you get everybody's expression. And so I feel like we having this Zoom world, I think we're going to go backwards as a community, as a society, because obviously 3D is better than 2D. And the fact that you can't see all 25 people in the classroom at the same time, that disadvantages you, not just in the classroom, but I mean, geez, professor can't see all 25 faces at once. And even if she can, it's like what? Microscopic. You need like a magnifying glass to look at the faces of students and their expressions. You can't even see the expressions because they're like little tiny square boxes that's like 1 inch, high and 1.5 inch wide. How are you going to see everybody's expression? You know what I'm saying? And so you catch all the nuances. No, you don't, because they're in a 2D screen in a little 1 inch by 1.5 inch square or rectangular boxes. And so, yeah, you miss everything. But anyway, going back to Betsy, I appreciate her because I could see like, if you are in a moral crisis anywhere, you need a Betsy. I'm telling you, like 24 of us, we'll be just like sitting there just nodding. If we're like in a communist government, we'll be nodding. Oh, everything is good. And, wherever we are, like we're kind of like sheep. Bah! You tell us to do this, we'll do that. You tell us to do this, we'll do this. Bah! You know the sheep, you know the sound, bah, bah. I don't know if I sound like a sheep. I'm not a sheep really. I'm more like Betsy, I would like to think. But I think most of us 24 people are like sheep. Bah, bah. You tell us to do this, we'll do this. Bah. You know, like her, you know, like following, like everything that people tell you to do. You know what I'm saying? It's like sheep. You are sheep. You know, and so but Betsy isn't. I feel like Betsy isn't. I hope she doesn't disappoint me. But you know, like Betsy is someone you want. If there's an ethical crisis or a moral crisis, she's going to speak her mind and disagree with the professor. Oh, we're not worthy. We're not worthy, professor. We're not worthy, professor. We'll just do what you want us to do. We are not worthy. If there were slavery in America, we would love to be your slaves. Bah, bah, bah. We are your sheep. Bah. You know, you get the point. So Betsy is not one of these sheep. So she always brings up, you know, this different idea. And I'm like, go, Betsy, go. Go, Betsy, go. Go, Betsy, go. You know, because you need somebody like Betsy. Whenever there's a moral crisis, whenever there's an ethical dilemma, you know, and the professor is opinionated, she's like, I want you to believe this. You know, you know those types of professor. There are professors who are like, type A professor, you know, OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder type professor. They've never been diagnosed, but you know they're like OCD. And then they're like pit bull. They're like, they want every student to do what they want, you know? And everybody's like, bah, bah, you know, but Betsy isn't. And that's why we need people like Betsy during a moral crisis. Because Betsy will tell you what's right. And you know, or at least you know her opinion, and that opinion may be different from the professors, but she's going to share it. And that's why we need in America people to speak their mind. If you're a member of the Aryan Nation, more power to you. People like you keep our nation sane, right? Well, I don't want to say more power to you, Antifa, because I hate Antifa. I hate the socialist, communist, Bernie Sanders types. And so I don't want to say more power to you, but I mean, I will admit having like those socialists kind of does allow us to to be, you know, be supportive of the First Amendment. Because as I said, personally, I would love to create a law to round up every single Antifa using our FBI, CIA, using like FISA. I don't like FISA order, but just for Antifa, I would like endorse it and then monitor their cell phone, monitor their phone, you know, use the video camera on their computers to monitor their activity, monitor their internet activity through, you know, how many internet companies are there? You could easily monitor their internet activity, right? Comcast, what? How many are there? Xfinity and what? You know, phone company. You know, there's like what, 6 or 7. You could all like use the FISA order to like monitor every single person. We have the technology to monitor all 330 million people's communications right now. And so, yeah, I'm like, let's take out all the Antifa members. Get rid of like millions of Antifa members. America will be a better country. You know, that's just my personal opinion. But obviously, because there's a First Amendment, we can't do that. I mean, it's very disappointing for me. And I understand President Trump, you know, I mean, I tweeted saying, you know, President Trump, you should not declare Antifa a terrorist organization. You know, he said he was going to do it. And I want him to do it personally. Like in my heart, I'm like, oh, I hope President Trump doesn't listen to me and just declare Antifa as a terrorist organization. And then we could just start arresting them. And maybe we could like torture them secretly, you know, as long as we don't have any journalists to film it, and we could get away with, who's gonna know, right? I, you know, it's like, I mean, we could have waterboarded those, you know, Muslim terrorists until, you know, Christ's kingdom come if nobody, you know, recorded it, right? So I'm like, I'm personally not against torture. I shouldn't admit that on live TV, but yeah, but I'm not. I mean, because you know, Jesus Christ is not against torture. There's eternal damnation in hell. That's pure torture forever. And it's not just limited 10-minute torture, it's just forever torture. I mean, Jesus Christ is going to give you an eternal body just to torture you forever, you know. I mean, geez, you know, and I believe this Jesus is my God. I have no problem with torture. Geneva Convention, it's like, well, you know, that's like what, secular thing, you know, it's not a Christian thing. So, yeah, but you know, just don't get caught if you're going to torture somebody. That's what I say. But, you know, and you're never going to film me torturing someone. I'm not an idiot, you know, like the police officer. No, I'm not. I mean, he should not, obviously, should not have done that because he was innocent. But I'm talking about Antifa, who's not innocent, you know? I'm talking about guilty people like Antifa, you know? I mean, I'm like, torture the heck away, you know? I mean, just don't make sure nobody films you. I mean, you know, George Floyd was innocent. He wasn't Antifa. He was a Christian guy. But, you know, Antifa, by definition, in my opinion, is guilty of socialism, communism. And if we could just declare them a communist or terrorist organization, I say, man, bring them to Guantanamo, waterboard them away, man. Waterboard them, you know? But anyway, I'm just, well, I don't know. Am I joking? But anyway, yeah. But anyway, so you see how much I hate Antifa. But, you know, this is a free country. There's freedom of speech, you know. So what can you do? You know, what can you do? As much as I hate Antifa, what can you do? They're protected by the First Amendment. That's why I tweeted to President Trump, you know, when he tweeted like he's going to declare, you know, Antifa terrorist organization. I tweeted, you know, and said, you know, please don't, you know, how about the First Amendment? You know, in a sense, you know, I want to protect President Trump. I like President Trump. I think like he would get into like deep waters if he, you know, declares them as a terrorist organization before they commit a terrorist act that is clearly proven by evidence. So once they commit terrorist, like I'll be the first one to like tweet President Trump and say, declare them terrorist group, declare them terrorist group. Let's start like hunting every one of them down, you know. But since they haven't committed a terrorist act, like as a group, like in the name of Antifa, like they're pretending like they're George Floyd protesters. I mean, geez, how lame is that? I mean, you know, I mean, they don't deserve our time to ferret them out if they're not going to be proud of their identity and say, you know, we're Antifa and we're just like doing this in the name of Antifa. I mean, you know, like when IRA, Irish Republican Army, was declared a terrorist organization in America, there are a lot of Irish Catholics, including like people at Georgetown University, because there are a lot of Irish Catholics at Georgetown. And you know, like a lot of Protestants consider all Irish Catholics as like terrorists, you know, because I went to a Presbyterian elementary school, middle school, high school, and all of them were saying like IRA, those Irish Catholics are terrorists, you know. But you know, that's how Protestants think of Irish Catholics, you know, even now in America. So because you know, Protestants stick to themselves, Catholics stick to themselves. You know, people choose to self-isolate in America. So if you're Irish Catholic, you probably have most friends who are Irish Catholic or Catholics. If you're Presbyterian, you probably have most friends who are like Protestant. You know, it's just Americans self-isolate on purpose. That's what they do. That's, you know, and we exist peacefully because of the First Amendment. You know, I mean, there's only 60 million Catholics in the world. I mean, there's like, what, 250 Protestants. I mean, it's like, there's no way Catholics can win. If we went like mano a mano, there's no way Catholics can win. You know, and that's why we only had one Catholic president. And Protestants hated John F. Kennedy so much that all these FBI agents, CIA agents, you know, they start killing him off. Like they killed off John F. Kennedy. You know, FBI did it. Protestant FBI agents. There are Protestant agents now who would do it, you know, if we had a Catholic president. Yeah, and you know, and you know, they killed off Robert Kennedy because they didn't want another Catholic president, right? Because he was going to win. And they're like, these Protestant gung-hos are like, man, we're not going to have another Catholic president. So they killed him off. And then they killed off John F. Kennedy Jr., right? I mean, do you think a plane just like falls and gets destroyed? How many stories of a plane have you heard that just like falls from the sky for no reason? Of course, it was an FBI hit. You know, one of the federal government officials killed him off because they were afraid that JF Kennedy Jr. would become president. Yeah, that's like the biggest fear of Protestants. Like Protestants I talk to, they're like, it's not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. And you know what they mean by that? They mean like, kill off the Catholics before they become president. That's what they mean. I mean, they misappropriate John F. Kennedy saying to encourage FBI agents to maintain a certain vision, like of a Protestant, Protestant power, or what we refer to as white Anglo-Saxon Protestant power, WASP. Even now, America is controlled by WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. Everybody knows that. That's not going to change. And that's why we never had more than one Catholic president. That's why Joe Biden's going to lose. There's no way he's going to win. He's like Catholic guy. Who's going to vote for him? Yeah, he's not going to win. So because Americans are very anti-Catholic, like 250 million America's Protestants, they hate Catholics. Oh, watch in November. Watch and see if I'm wrong. I mean, I like Catholics. As I told you on this TV, I want to marry a Catholic woman, who's a virgin, who went to Catholic school from, pre-kindergarten all the way to college, Obviously, I wanted to come to Presbyterian church with me, but I'm willing to send all my kids to be educated by Catholics. So, you know how I feel, but I understand my people, the Presbyterians, I understand how they feel. They'll probably hate me for it. There are Presbyterians now who hate me because I'm at Georgetown. Like, I tell my Presbyterian friends I'm at Georgetown, they're like, look at me, like funny. They're like, why aren't you like at Liberty University doing nursing? Or why aren't you like at Oral Roberts University doing nursing? That's their attitude. They have no respect for Georgetown because they hate Catholics. I like Georgetown. I think it's one of the best universities in the world. I'm trying to encourage you to come to Georgetown to the clinical nurse leader program. But I'm saying my Presbyterian buddies hate Georgetown, many of them, because it's a Catholic school. When I was applying to college, I didn't apply to Georgetown because of the Catholic University. No, I'm going to tell you the truth. When I was applying, I was ranked number 2. I didn't apply to Georgetown or any other Catholic university because, there are so many good Protestant universities like Harvard, Yale, University of Pennsylvania, Princeton. Why apply to a Catholic university? That's how Protestants think. And, I was thinking that way. I understand why Presbyterians hate Catholics even now. I understand them. I don't agree with them, but I understand them. Like I like Catholics because I talk positively about Catholics all the time. They're anti-abortion, anti-homosexuality, anti-gay marriage. What's not to like as a Bible-believing Christian? But even so, Protestants hate Catholics. Protestants who are like fundamentalist Christians who agree with everything that Catholics believe in, they still hate Catholics just because they're Catholic. Can you believe that? Does that make sense to you? But they do. Because that's just America, that's just Protestantism. Part of it is because for 500 years, Protestants have been killing Catholics. So, it's like 500-year war, It's still going on. It hasn't really stopped yet. So you have to understand why, there are people who hate me just because I'm at Georgetown, a Catholic university, Yeah. I have friends who are Presbyterian clergy who don't want to talk to me now. Because I'm at Georgetown. Yeah. It's like that. Yeah, there are people who really don't like Catholics. But I'm not like that. But I'm just saying, FBI killed off John F. Kennedy. FBI killed off Robert Kennedy. FBI killed off John F. Kennedy Jr. Do you see George W. Bush dying, getting killed off? Do you see George W. Bush's kids dying, like when they're flying? They don't die off because they're WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestants. If Joe Biden gets president, he'll probably be assassinated in first year, or second year, when he's driving down Dallas or somewhere. Yeah. But anyway, you cannot, you have to understand the power of a historical force, Yeah, people say, well, the Kennedy tragedy? And I'm like, yeah, the Presbyterians created. Because they're the ones who are knocking them off. And in their mind, they're doing like a miracle service. Yeah, but these people exist in FBI, CIA, Homeland Security right now as we speak. And so, and you will never know who they are because they've kind of gone into hiding because of the PC culture. They talk the talk. So you don't know who they are. When America did not have PC culture, you could identify these people. But now they talk like they love everyone, because they're trying to survive. I mean, they're profilers, right? They're FBI, they're profilers. They know what profiling means, what political correctness culture is. A Federal Bureau of Investigation. So they're gonna go camouflage incognito. You're not gonna know who they are. And they'll carry out their executions incognito. You'll never know who carried them out. Yeah, so that's just the way things are in America. Although the Protestants who hate Catholics have gone incognito, but they are there. They haven't changed. As I told you, I had Presbyterian friends who refused to socialize with me because I'm at Georgetown, a Catholic university. Yeah, there are a lot of people like that in America. They take it personally, like Protestants. But anyway, so there are 250 million Protestants, and I would say majority of them hate Catholics. I think that's a they won't tell you because obviously we live in a political correctness culture. You can't socially get away with telling people you hate them, right? But that's how they feel, And so, yeah, I mean, you just have to. I mean, President Trump understands this. He's a WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. He understands everything perfectly. The most white Anglo-Saxon Protestants understand what I'm saying. I don't even have to explain it to them because they know. It's just part of their culture. So yeah. Yeah. So yeah, most white Protestants rather have a black president than a white Catholic president. Did you know that? Like when President Obama ran for president because he was white Protestant, like a lot of white Protestants, even the racist ones, didn't really care. He's like, at least he's not Catholic. Yeah, I mean, you'd be surprised how anti-Catholic Americans are. I mean, you'd be shocked. I tell you, like, white Protestants rather their daughters marry a black Protestant than a white Catholic. Did you know that? Do you know how I know? Let me share this with you for those of you who are Catholic who don't know America, like Protestant America, because that's like 250 million of us. My best friend is Ed. He calls himself white trash, and he's not, but he's like a Joe American white Protestant, His father immigrated from Norway, or he's not his father, he's like great grandfather or grandfather, immigrated from Norway, became a farmer in like North Dakota in a small farm, and Ed's father, joined the U.S. Army because he didn't want to be a farmer because he didn't like waking up at 4 a.m. Every day. He didn't want to do that rest of his life. And then after he joined the army, he was cruising with his like Protestant army buddies, and then they saw like his mother, Maggie, cruising with like her, three Protestant friends. They're like high school, they're like high school seniors or something, or just graduate from high school. And then, yeah, they like quadruple dated, they each guy picked a girl, and then he married her. That's how they got married. And they're both Protestants, and that was important to both families that they married Protestant. And Ed was born, right? And so now Ed and I growing up, and we're telling him, we're talking, and he's like, my brother is dating a Japanese girl. And I'm like, really? And she said, yeah. And I said, oh, how do your parents feel about that? Because like, she's not white. And he's like, well, they don't care. She's not Catholic. I'm like, what? And she's like, yeah, I mean, they share the gospel with her and they hope that she'll convert to, like Baptist, evangelical Christianity, and then they could get married. But she's not Catholic, so, they don't really care. As long as, but they want her to be Christian before he gets married. I'm like, whoa. And that's when I first realized that I had that conversation when Ed and I were in what, ninth grade? That's when I realized America's Protestants hate Catholics, like really, really hate Catholics, because like, geez, it's like a different race, but they rather marry like a different race who's not Catholic than marry a white person. I'm like, why would you want to do the Irish girls are so beautiful? I don't, you know, man, you know why like so many Irish Catholics are married to Jews? Because they're willing to marry Catholics, because Protestants are not. I mean, how, if you have a Catholic friend, you will know that a lot of Catholics have married Jews, like especially older generation, like people who are 40s or 50s or 70s, like they're Catholic and they marry a Jewish person. You find that a lot in America because Jews are willing to marry Catholics. Protestants are not. That's why you don't have that many like people who are like Protestants who marry, Catholics in America. But you have a lot of Jews and Catholic combination. Because Catholics are willing to marry Jews. Protestants actually are willing to marry Jews too, but Jews like a wild card. Everybody. It's like as long as they're not Catholic, maybe Jews will convert to Christianity. But anyway, yeah, I'm laughing about it because I find it a little bit facetious, ridiculous, but that's the way it is, Now, if you didn't understand why things are the way they are, now you understand. Yes, 250 million Protestants hate Catholics. If you didn't know, somebody needed to tell you Santa Claus doesn't exist. I know you like to believe that Santa Claus exists, but somebody has to tell you the facts. America's 250 million Protestants hate Catholics. Yeah. Why do you think we don't have a Catholic president? Have you thought about that? I mean, you think Catholics are incompetent? Of course not. Catholics are among the most amazing people, brain-wise. They're fine human beings, in my opinion, although my Protestant friends will not agree with me. But, how come they don't become president? Because there's this, conflict for 500 years in Western civilization. That's why you have Protestant nations and Catholic nations, right? United Kingdom is Protestant. They don't like Catholics. Catholics don't have power in United Kingdom. Ireland is a Catholic country. Spain is a Catholic country. Italy is a Catholic country. France is a Catholic country. Germany is kind of split, but Protestants kind of dominate. And Scandinavia, they're all like Protestant dominating. Netherlands. You see what I'm saying? Nations are divided by religions in the Western civilization. So you have Greece, which are Greek Orthodox. You have like Lithuania, which is like what? Catholic, I think. Latvia is Catholic. Estonia is Lutheran. Russia is Orthodox, Russian Orthodox. Nations are divided by religions in Western civilization. National boundaries were drawn according to religious lines. And that's why you have like Jewish state. Like Israel is a Jewish nation. Because Jews in Europe were influenced by this kind of nationalities that were attached to religion. So when they founded the Jewish nation, it was like religiously oriented. Because nationalism in the Western civilization has been religiously tied. And so yeah, you can't escape it. You cannot escape your history. History is like this black hole that draws you in, even if you don't want to be drawn in. It's impossible to escape it. I assure you, there are Protestant FBI agents killing off Kennedys now, even in 2020. Wasn't there a Kennedy who got killed off in Florida a few months ago? I assure you, it was probably a Protestant FBI agent who was incognito, and you would never find him or her. Could be a her, because I mean, obviously they're not going to get caught. I mean, do you know who killed John F. Kennedy? Except for that guy who's like framed, it was an FBI agent, or like group of them. It probably was a conspiracy. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't change people. You just cannot. And that's why safety is in your community. Like Koreans in Fairfax County live among Koreans, right? We all know each other. We feel safe among Koreans. You have the Vietnamese kind of living among Vietnamese. You have blacks living among blacks. Like I went to a black church in Alexandria, United Methodist Church, and they're all black. I'm like, what century are we living in? Why is this church so black? Why am I the only non-black person here except for that one white lady? What's going on here? Why is everybody in the church black? It's a United Methodist Church. I just went to worship there. It's like everybody's black. I'm like, where are all the other people? Then I go to like another United Methodist Church in Alexandria, you know, Shepherd so and they're all white. I'm like, where are all the black people? I tell you, Alexandria, city of Alexandria, Virginia, it's racially divided on Sundays. Blacks go to black church, whites go to white church. Latinos go to Latino church, Koreans go to Korean church, Ethiopians go to Ethiopian church. And they don't even go to Eritrean church. They have like separate Eritrean church. You know that Sunday is the most segregated day of the year because everybody chooses to segregate themselves with people they like. You know that? Well, if you don't know that, you didn't know America, do you? Now, you need like an immigrant boy like me, Heerak from South Korea, to teach you about America because you live in your community and you don't really know how what's going on in other immigrant communities, right? Or other ethnic communities. Yeah, so I'm gonna be teaching you a lot of stuff. I assure you, the United Methodists in Alexandria, they like me far more than they like Catholics. And you didn't know that, did you? Yeah, because they're product of their history. Like Protestants in Alexandria, you United Methodists, they hate Catholics. Well, they're going to pretend like they like Catholics. You know, it's politically correct thing to do. I assure you, United Methodist people in Alexandria, they hate Catholics. They do. Did you know that? You probably did not know that. Same with Arlington. You know, all these Protestants in Arlington, they socialize with each other, Protestants. They hate Catholics. You didn't know that, do you? Did you? Yeah. Protestants in Arlington hate Catholics in Arlington. Doesn't matter if they're like Republican, Democrat, Independent, just the way they are. Falls Church, the same. Yeah, I've been to a lot of churches in Falls Church, both Catholic and Protestant. Uh, Fairfax County, it's the same. Yeah. They would want me to marry their daughter, the Protestants in this area, before their daughter marries a Catholic. I assure you, I mean, they probably don't want their daughter to marry me so much because I'm not white. But if they had to choose between me, like a Korean fat guy, and a Catholic, most of them will choose me. Yeah, I'll assure you. You don't believe me? That's because you don't know America. You don't know Protestant America. Yeah, I mean, you think this area is liberal, Virginia's 8th District, Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, Fairfax County. I will assure you there are police officers here, FBI agents here who will kill Catholics if they think like Catholics are doing a Protestant wrong. You have like Catholics turning up dead, killed by like cops in their plain clothes or FBI agents. You have to understand what America is. You don't know America if you don't believe me. I mean, you could do a stress test and see. You know, I encourage you to do a stress test and see. Yeah, I know America. Yeah, just because I'm a Protestant. I've been in a Protestant setting all my life. Like before I came to like Georgetown, well, I like a my best friend was Anglo Catholic. He said he's like Anglican, like because he was royalty, Martin Wood. But he's like, I'm Anglo Catholic. I'm like, what the heck is that? Like, I'm Anglican, but I'm Catholic. I'm like, what? What does that mean? Before him, I had like, oh, I had Catholic friends because I had Michael Lovano, who's Catholic, and Terry Monica at UCLA. Like Michael Lovano was my best friend, and he's like a professor at St. Norbert's College, and he's from Sicily. So I had Catholic friends, but um, do I have any other Catholic friends? During all of my years at University of Pennsylvania, I did not have a single Catholic friend. All my friends were Protestant or like Buddhist, Muslim, or Hindu or Jewish. I mean, I marched at like anti-abortion rallies with Catholics, from Penn Human Center. But all of us are like, yeah, those Catholics, let's march with them. Like they were the other. But we united on their anti-abortion marches. But yeah, I didn't have any Catholic friends at University of Pennsylvania because Protestants generally don't. They could, but it's not a thing to do. Protestants socialize with Protestants, Catholics socialize Catholic. It's the way things are. Yeah. So I don't really. I think I have like classmates who are Catholic, but I don't think I had a single Catholic friend. I had like a lot of Jewish friends. And there are a lot of Catholics that, and I used to march on abortion marches with them all the time. Oh, Kenneth Wee was Catholic because he's from Philippines. The Chinese guy who's my roommate. He's Catholic, but yeah, because like all Filipinos are Catholic, right? 99% of them. But yeah. So I did have a Catholic friend, Kenneth Wee, but I saw him as a Filipino friend, not as a Catholic friend. Oh, yeah, my Asian guy, my Asian friend. So like the reason I became friends with him was because he was Asian, and that's how we associated. See, I didn't even remember he was Catholic, and he's actually devout Catholic, but there's some, you see what I'm saying? That's not an important factor, when we're socializing. Like we socialize with Asians, and my primary reason why I socialize with Kenneth Wee is because he's Asian, not because yeah. So it's just that way. America's America. You cannot change America. You try to change it, you're gonna have resistance, and you're not gonna like what happens. Yeah, you don't want to change people who don't want to be changed because that's asking for it. It's like when you date a guy and you try to change him, what happens? He dumps you. You've probably been dumped like 1,000 times, like a feminist, because guys hate it when girls try to change them. It's like that's like asking to be dumped. Yeah, but you know the saying, right? If you're a girl, you need to know this. I'm sorry to like break it to you. This is a typical saying among guys in America, and this is like united among all guys. Man, I don't want to use like the crass word, but guys are guys, right? Guys are not girls. Guys are guys. And this is a popular saying among guys. They said, show me a pretty girl, and I'll show you a guy who's sick of beeping her. Do you see what I'm saying? Show me a beautiful woman, and I'll show you a guy who's like sick of beeping her. I'm like, what? I would love to be married to a woman with that kind of body for the rest of my life and that kind of face. And you're telling me like somebody is sick. You should be having premarital sex. Let's get that straight. But I'm just saying, Christians get married to have sex, right? And that's why, like, if you give the guy sex, he's not going to marry you. Because, he's going to have sex with you for 2-3 years and go for younger and beautiful women. That's how guys are. If I weren't Christian, that's what I would do. I'm Christian, that's why I'm not doing that. But if I were not a Christian, I'd have sex with beautiful women if she's willing to give me a sex, and then to suck the lifeblood out of her from like during her most beautiful years, and then dump her for like some beta or gamma or delta guy to marry, and then go for another beautiful girl. And I'll keep doing that, for like 20, 30 years. That's what I would do if I weren't Christian. I don't see a point in getting married if I'm not a Christian, because there are always going to be younger and prettier women. Why get married? It doesn't make sense to me. Only reason I would get married and have sex only with one woman is because I'm Christian. If I'm not a Christian, I think you're an idiot as a guy if you like have sex with one woman for the rest of your life. If you're not a Christian, I'm like, geez, you're losing out on all those beautiful bodies, and you're not even Christian. You're going to go to hell anyway. If you're going to go to hell anyway, why don't you use your 100 years of your life just having sex with the most beautiful woman, for 2 years? If she's stupid enough to give you sex for 2 years, have sex and to pretend like you fell out of love, and then start the whole process again with another beautiful woman. That's what I would do if I weren't a Christian. I mean, you must be an idiot or a beta or gamma guy if you're having sex with the same girl like all your life. That doesn't make sense to me. I think most guys would agree with me, even Christian guys, they would admit it in their heart. If we weren't Christian, we prefer to have like sex with 1,000 different beautiful women and then throw them away. That's just the way guys feel. That's how guys think. I mean, like, do you want to hear all the beeping all the time? Jeez, for God's sake. You know, guys don't want to hear like women talk. They're like, yes, honey, yeah. You know, I was like living with one woman for the rest of your life. That's like hell because you know you're gonna fall out of love. Which guy doesn't fall out of love? It's like out of 100 guys, 99 or 100 guys will fall out of love. Only reason they stay with the same woman and she gets fat and ugly is because they're Christians. They have to. So they have to make the best of the worst situation. You have to pretend like you love them. I mean, you know, and when you resign yourself to the fact that you cannot get divorced and marry another girl, you psychologically, cognitively convince yourself you're in love until you die. Because what other choice you have, even if you don't love her, right? Yeah, divorce is there to protect the women, not to protect men. Men could always get younger and prettier women anytime, like, you know, any guy. Yeah, it protects the women. Because, you know, as I said, there's a saying among guys, show me a beautiful woman, and I'll show you a guy who is sick of beeping her. And that's true. That's true. You know, because I'm very popular. I'm like alpha male. So I have beta, gamma, delta males following me everywhere I go. It was like that when I was in England. It was like that when I was in Israel. It was like that when I was in Germany. Because I'm the alpha male, right? So all the beta, gamma, and delta males follow me. And, you know, let me talk about Eric Fries. He's like a guy, you know, he's not real, he's alpha beta male. Sorry, Eric, if you're watching me. He's a professor of a community college in New York. His mother is like a naval officer, high-ranking naval officer. His father is a Presbyterian guy, got married. So he chose to become a Christian, but he's half Jewish, half Protestant. And he struggled with his identity. Do I become a Jew? Do I become a Christian? And when I was in Israel, he was struggling. A lot of Jews who are like half-half. They struggle with that. But anyway, you know what he tells me? He's like, Heerak, how do you meet all these beautiful women? And like, how do you do it? I'm like, what? I just talk to them. And Eric's like, Eric Fries. He's in New York. Eric's like, you don't just talk to beautiful women. I'm like, why not? They're beautiful. Should you talk to beautiful women? And that's when I realized I'm an alpha male. I thought all the guys do that. That all the guys like talk to beautiful women because they're beautiful. But Eric's like, you know how hard it is to talk to a beautiful woman? I'm like, for me, talking to ugly women is hard. Because you gotta make an effort to talk to them. But beautiful women, like they're beautiful, like I want to talk to them. So it's easier for me to talk to beautiful women. I mean, I have to like use more ATPs, like energy cells in my body to talk to ugly women. It just takes a lot of effort. I'm like tired out. Like if I'm in a like room of ugly women, like in academic conferences, well, there are like a lot of academic conferences I go, there are a lot of beautiful women. Recently I've been, well, that's like in Europe. Like American academic conferences, most women are ugly. No, they're not. They're actually beautiful. Yes, I can't really say because like a lot of women are attractive in academic conference, so that's not a good example to use. But let's just say, I'm in a setting where there are like a lot of ugly women somewhere. Oh, it's like, it's draining to talk. I mean, it's just tiring, because you don't want to talk and like you have to. Oh my gosh. But like, when you're like in a room of beautiful women, it's different, and that's why like guys like to go to like parties. So they see all these beautiful women, But Eric like sat me down and he's like seriously talking to me. He's like, Heerak, how do you talk to these women like that? I'm like, what? I just talk to them. He's like, you have a gift. I'm like, what? And that's when I realized I'm like an alpha male. I have no problem talking to beautiful women, and beautiful women like me. And when I ask beautiful women out on dates, I say yes. I thought it's like that with everybody. But anyway, Yeah, but anyway, yeah, but you know what? So I have a lot of males that like see me as like their god, their male god, and like among Hindus, Muslims, they all look at me and they're like, "How do you talk to beautiful Hindu women like that?" Because did I tell you when I was in Israel, there was this beautiful woman, Leika. Oh my gosh, she's Hindu from England, and she was doing her PhD in foreign relations, and she was like at Oxford, and she was crazy about me. She was like the most beautiful Indian woman I've seen in my life. Like she just like fell head over heel over me, Leika. Maybe I should show you like a photo of her sometime. And I was like, whoa, and so she tried to get me drunk to have sex with me. I'm like fat, like I was like fat like I'm now. I'm like, why does she want my body so much? I just don't understand. Why does she want to have sex with me? Like she's trying to get me drunk to have sex with her. I don't. What's wrong with her? I can't understand it because like when she wants to like have sex with some guy who's like six pack and was like like looks like a model. Why is she trying to get me drunk to have sex with me? I don't understand this. Because I'm Christian. I'm not going to have sex with people, right? I'm until I'm married. And so she's trying to get me drunk, so like my inhibition will be down, and I'll have sex with her. I'm like, interesting. But anyway, yeah, like, and she's not the only beautiful woman who tried to do that. A lot of beautiful women tried to get me drunk to have sex with me. I don't, it's like, yeah. But anyway, yeah. But the guys tell me things, right? Because like they see me like as a god among mortals wherever I go. So they like confide in me. They like pay homage to me, and then they seek my advice, my wisdom, especially regarding women. It's a hard job being an alpha male, but someone has to, there are duties that I have to fulfill as an alpha male wherever I go, wherever in the world, regardless of the race, religion, if I'm in Muslim area, all these Muslim beta guys come to me and they want me to show them the way. If I'm in India or, I'm with Hindus, all these beta Indian guys come to me and they want me to show them the way. It's not easy being an alpha male, but someone has to fulfill the duties of an alpha male, and I take my duties as an alpha male seriously. So I give advice. A lot of males got married with their dream girls because of my wisdom. Yeah, I'm like, you'll be surprised. You will be surprised how many guys marry their dream girls because of me, my wisdom of the alpha male. But anyway, so they tell me things, right? But guys talk about this, and that's everybody says the same thing. Some guy worked like 3 years to get this beautiful woman of his dreams, and she has sex with him. Like 2 weeks later, he's bored. I'm like, what the heck? You worked 2 years like to become her girlfriend, like his boyfriend, and like you, after 3 years of like wasting all that money, energy, geez, and you're finally get her, and you're like sick of her after 2 weeks of having sex with her. And he's like, yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, if she didn't give him sex, he probably would not be bored because he'd be like, that's why women should not give guys sex, is force him to marry you. These guys get bored after like 2-3 weeks. I would say average time that guys get bored with any woman, doesn't matter how beautiful they are, it's like 2 weeks. If a guy has like sex with a girl for 2 weeks, he's bored with her. I would say that's like 99% of the guys. Yeah, I mean, you women don't believe me because you're women. And you probably, guys are never going to tell you the truth. Yeah. Most of the reason why the guys stay with the women is because they're too lazy to work to get another girl. That's generally the reason why guys are with a woman. If they could get a better woman, they will. That's just the way guys are. Yeah. That's just the way guys are. But anyway, yeah, love is like short-lived, I mean, yeah, most guys, I mean, if you look at guys who've been together with a woman for a long time, most of them are religious. Because their religion forces them to be together. Religion is what keeps a marriage lasting, really. Because if it weren't for the religion, I mean, well, or the kids. If you have kids, obviously you love kids. Most men say having children are the greatest joy of their life. So they will not divorce a woman because they love their kids. Even if they don't love the woman anymore, they'll pretend that they love the woman because they love kids. They love their kids for the rest of their life. You know, Jim Carrey, the comedian, he has one person in his Twitter account that he follows, and that's his daughter. That's how guys are. You know, Jim Carrey is probably not a Christian, so he's like, he doesn't care about the women he has sex with. He's like, goes through them like trash. Most guys who are not religious, you know, you know, give give a guy sex for 2 weeks, they're bored with you. They don't want to have sex with you anymore. They want to have sex with another girl. So that's how guys are. It doesn't matter if you're the most beautiful woman in the world. That's just the way guys are. So majority of the guys, like 99% out of 100. Yeah, I mean, it's just, yeah. But yeah, so it's like, you need people who are willing to tell you the truth, or you don't know the reality. And that's where Betsy is. I have high respect for Betsy because she's willing to share stuff that, sometimes, makes professors uncomfortable. And, and she's not like a sheep, like the 24 of us, I'm not really a sheep, but, but there's like 3 guys and like 22 girls. Jeez, like we're minorities. We're just afraid that these 22 girls will gang up and start persecuting us. Billy, Grant, and I, we're like, nah, I'm just kidding. Am I kidding? Really? Yeah, but anyway, I love everybody in my program. They're great. That's like from my heart. I actually love them. But it is also true that there are only 3 guys and there's 22 girls. Yes. So if you're a guy who has like 10 sisters, you know how that feels. Yeah. Yeah, just kind of like that. And like if you're from a Catholic family who's like devoutly Catholic, you have a higher chance of understanding that. Yeah. But right, Billy, right, Grant. I know, mom is the word. I know I'm supposed to keep this secret, like unspoken rule among guys. But what can I say? I want my viewers to know the truth because truth will set them free. Because they're living in a bizarro world, alternate universe, where they have to keep their mouths shut all the time, or the feminazi's gonna get them. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, but anyway, look at all these gentlemen like kneeling their knees, honoring Jesus. That's the way it should be, Beautiful sight. This is where, President Trump, you gotta just kind of lighten up. Protestants don't like kneeling. They like sitting in a chair. You almost never see a Protestant kneel at a church. I'm like, that's bad. This is the reason why I like Catholics more, is you should kneel before Jesus. Like these Protestants, they're like the greatest thing the greatest gift of God to the world, and President Trump being a WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant, he probably thinks that. I mean, I would love to ask President Trump, how many times have you kneeled at a church? He'd probably say never. I won't be surprised. So I don't know too many Protestants who kneel at the church. My dad kneels in prayer all the time because he's like, I want to approach Father God on my knees to pray for. That's just my dad, but most Protestants don't like kneeling and praying. They like sitting and praying, and it's more comfortable. But anyway, yeah. So today is 2-month anniversary. So we're going to do a comparison. So April 2nd, there were only 5,911 deaths. So it was like we're like a month in. And then May 2nd, we had 66,364 deaths. But we start reaping the fruits of stay-at-home order, and death rate decreased. From April to May, it increased a lot. From May to June, it started decreasing. But now, since we opened up everything, it's probably going to start increasing again. I'm actually predicting that we're going to have 1 million deaths by August 2020. World COVID death is similar. A lot of countries closed down: England, France, Italy, Spain. So you saw a decline in death rate, right, from May to June. Um, so April 2nd, there were 52,972 world deaths. It starts spiking up because, it starts spreading. So on May 2nd, you had 243,355 deaths. 1 month later, on June 2nd, you had 380,180 deaths. So it went down, but still, you have like over 100,000 people dying in the world, and in America, you had like over 40,000 people dying, around 40,000 people dying in the world. So it's a lot, even when we close everything down. Now, COVID cases are similar. They're kind of spreading, and U.S. COVID cases on April 2nd was 244,678. It jumped up like almost a million in 1 month to 1,127,712 on May 2nd. And then it jumped up, smaller amount because we're all locked inside. It jumped up around, like 700,000, just a little bit smaller, but still spreading fairly fast to 1,831,730. And so, yeah, we're headed to 2 million soon. World COVID cases on April 2nd was 1,014,673. On May 2nd, it was 3,421,834. 1 month later, we have 6,376,822. Yeah. Now, why do people choose war? Have you ever thought about that? If you're women, you probably don't understand why men start wars. Men love war. That's why men love boxing. Men like football because it's violent. Men like world wrestling. Some women like it too. Men love war. I mean, that's why you have a steady stream of people going to U.S. Marines, right? U.S. Marines is like a death sentence. If there's a war, 25% of the Marines will die, but they still join the Marines because they get to kill the most number of people because they're in the front line. That's why they joined the Marines, so they could kill as many people as possible. Men love war, men love conflict and war. That's just the way they are. And I think women are different. Yeah, there isn't a man who would not think twice about shooting his best friend if his best friend draws a gun on him. Just that's just the way men are. It's not that they hate the guy. It's like if you pull a gun on me, I'm gonna shoot your head off. Not because I hate you, just why did you pull a gun on me? And that's just the way men are. So even if you're best friend, he'll never draw on your best friend because he'll shoot you. Doesn't matter if you've been best friends for 30 years. This is man's world, and every man understands this rule. Billy understands rule. Grant understands this rule. We don't even have to talk about it. Every man understands that. You draw a gun on me, I don't care if you're like married to my sister and you're like my best friend, I'm gonna kill you. Yeah, just it's the man's world. Men don't think, they'll do it. Yeah. That's why you never draw on a man, unless you want to be shot at. Just the rule. Unspoken rule that all men around the world understand. Now, men love war, but obviously different people have different reasons for going to war, right? Joshua's conquest of Canaan, they committed genocide against the people that they waged war with, and according to the Bible, God himself ordered the genocide, so they were just obeying God. So Joshua's war of conquest is war that happened because their deity ordered it. As simple as that. There are wars like that where God orders it directly himself, or God orders the war through a prophet. Crusade started because a Pope called for a crusade, a war, and then people just started a war. Yeah, I mean, one preacher can start a war. I mean, Pope was like one preacher. He started a war that lasted, what, decades? Longer than that. Yeah. So, because Pope is God's representative on earth, right? And we call him the Pope the vicar of Christ. So, yeah, like a preacher can start a war. So, and obviously, people don't hear God Not all of them. Some people hear God, but not all of them. So when the preacher says go to war, they will go to war because they see the preacher as representing God. Do you see how that works? So yeah, so either God orders war directly, or God orders war through his prophets or his preachers, prophets, priests, whatever term you call it, priest, pastor, you could use whatever term you want, but it's the same thing, right? And the Christian God is a very violent God, and you know that because you read the Bible. There's no God as violent as the Christian God. And we know that God of the New Testament is violent as well because we have Book of Revelations. And we see what the Book of Revelation is telling Christians to do, right? Reverend Pat Robertson, right? Reverend, well, he's not a reverend, but junior, Reverend Franklin Graham understands that. He knows the Bible. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Revelation is very violent. Just read it for yourself and see if, I'm not telling you the truth. Christianity is probably the most violent religion in the world. Glorifies killing, even in the New Testament. We have a Savior who died, and this Savior, according to the Book of Revelation, will come and kill like billions. Yeah, just read the Bible, Revelation, and see what Jesus Christ does in Revelation. He kills like billions of people. Yeah. Yeah. And that's why we call him the king, absolute monarch. He's not a president, he's a king. He can kill whoever he wants. New Testament is a very violent book. You just don't know. You get the sanitized version from like people who like twist it. But yeah, New Testament is very violent. Christianity has always been violent. I mean, geez, it's only like last few decades it's not been violent. Even so, I mean, it's still kind of pretty violent because, when George W. started a war in the Middle East, what did he say? What was that operation of what? I forget the name now, but it's like something very Protestant. Yeah. And then, so there are wars that start because they're religious wars. They're the most dangerous kind of wars, like, Protestant versus Catholic war. It lasted 500 years. It's still going on. Like, as I said, there are people who are eager to kill Kennedys off now. They're just like looking for an excuse to kill Kennedys because, most Protestants who carry out the execution, they need a reason, right? And they're not just going to kill people for no reason, but there's a conflict and they feel like some Catholic did a Protestant wrong, then in their mind, they're doing justice by killing like a Kennedy as a representative of the Irish Catholics. Yeah, it sucks to be a representative of your ethnic group sometimes, because they'll kill you off. Yeah. Yeah, so if you're a Kennedy, I would be very careful. Yeah, I'll be like, please, Catholics, don't do a Protestant wrong because they're going to just choose a Catholic to kill, like a Kennedy, like one of the Kennedys to kill. That's what they're going to do. I mean, if you don't believe me, just like mistreat me and see what happens. Yeah. I mean, if people at Georgetown, like Irish Catholic Georgetown, want to test this thesis out, just mistreat me, I guarantee you there will be a Kennedy who turns up dead. I'm not going to do anything. I'm a man of peace. I'm just saying like some white wasp FBI agent will kill Kennedy off. That's what they'll do. That's just the way Protestants work. They're not going to just sit there as like me, Heerak Christian Kim, like a Presbyterian, third generation Presbyterian. Like my father's a Presbyterian minister. Both of my grandparents are Presbyterian ministers. They're not going to sit there and watch me suffer at the hand of Irish Catholics and do nothing. That's not Protestants' work. If you make me suffer, I will assure you, they're going to start killing off like prominent Catholics in America. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe a senator. Who knows? Just, yeah, please try it. Try it and see what happens. Yeah, so I welcome people to attack me and mistreat me because I would like to see what the Protestants and the FBI, CIA, Homeland Security will do to prominent Catholics in America. I'm just kind of curious. Yeah, so I'm game if you're game. Because life can be fun. If I die, I go to heaven, see Jesus Christ, and spend eternity with heaven. It's like as St. Paul says, to live is Christ, to die is gain. There's nothing lost. For people who are truly Christian. But you know, the world can get boring sometimes, you know? And obviously you don't want to commit a crime yourself, but sometimes, you know, you're like, well, if people choose to do evil, you know, let's see what happens. A lot of people are kind of curious. So satisfy your curiosity. Satisfy your curiosity. Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So there are wars that happen because there are people who want glory, and Troy is a good example of that. If you see the movie The Troy, Odysseus, who I guess was played by Brad Pitt, is approached by the gods, and they said, if you go to this war in Troy, you will have fame and glory for eternity. We talk about Odysseus, right? Um, or Achilles. I'm sorry, Achilles, not Odysseus. Achilles. He says, Achilles, if you go to war at Troy, your name will be famous. People will sing about you, write poems about you, and you'll be remembered for eternity. But you will die in Troy. If you don't go to war in Troy, you will not be famous. I mean, you're respected among people who are, you know, alive now. But when you die, you're not going to be really remembered by everybody. But you can get married and have children and have a happy life for 100 years. But you're kind of be like forgotten in history. What do you want to choose? And guess what Brad Pitt chose? Well, not Brad Pitt, but Achilles. He chose, knowing that he would definitely die, he chose death. See, you women out there probably don't understand that. See, I'm a man, I understand that. Every man, Grant understands it, Billy understands it. They understand the concept of dying for your own glory, because that's kind of built into all the male DNA. All the men consider dying for fame. Those who don't generally they don't because they're chicken. They know it, you know? Like it's like an unspoken thing among males. It's like written in our DNA. If you have a choice to die for your belief or die to become famous and not die, the alpha males will die for the fame. And that's why, you know, alpha males get killed off. And beta and gamma and delta males, you know, they marry beautiful women and live, because alpha males, they're willing to die for glory. Most alpha males. Like, look at President Trump. Do you see him like President Trump is definitely an alpha male. Do you see him taking on the whole Democrat House of Congress? I mean, you know, that's what alpha males do. They don't submit. They don't care if they die. That's why a lot of alpha males die. You know, like if you go to the US military, especially the Marines, you will have a lot of alpha males. Like probably out of 100 Marines, probably 70 or more of them are alpha males. Because that's what alpha males do. They are willing to risk death to enjoy killing someone. Like a lot of Marines join Marines because they enjoy killing. I mean, they're never going to tell you, but that's why they join the Marines, so they could kill people, you know, without breaking the law. You know, and they know it. Yeah, I mean, because you could join the Navy and you don't really kill people. You're like inside a submarine or inside a ship, you don't kill anybody. But if you become a Marine, you know you get to kill with your own hands. And alpha males join the Marines because that's what they want to do. They want to kill people legally, like evil people legally. Because, you know, they don't want to kill like just everybody, just enemies. And so they, like these U.S. Marines, they have like Achilles mentality. They want the glory if they could have it, and they're willing to die for it. But if they can't have the glory, they're just like the joy of killing other men in a war. You know, like men who are enemies of the nation. And that's what fuels the soldiers. Why do you think people volunteer to join the army since beginning of time to now? When you know they're going to die, why do you think people volunteer to join the army? Because men are men. Men will always join the army. Because Alpha males want to kill other males, but they don't want to just kill other males. They want to kill other males who are a threat to the nation or a threat to the family. You know, that's why they join the Marines. So they have the license to kill other men. And it's justified, like it's not a sin to kill people as a soldier in Christianity, except for like Anabaptists, those like Mennonites and Amish people, except for those people. I mean, Catholics, Protestants, um, Orthodox, none of them uh, have a problem. Like, Lutherans and Presbyterians killed off all the Amish people. You know that? You probably did not know that. Yeah. In the history of Lutheran Church, Martin Luther called for slaughter, like genocidal slaughter of Mennonites and Lutherans. That's why they escaped to America, because Martin Luther's followers were killing off Mennonites and like Amish people. So they ran away to Pennsylvania, to Dutch country, and they ran away from cities because they don't want to be killed off by German Lutherans in Philadelphia, like cities. So they go off into like Lancaster, where there's like farms, and they go far away from cities where there are Lutherans. Yeah, yeah. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah, you learn a lot of stuff from me. Yeah, they intentionally killed off like Anabaptists. We call them Anabaptists, but they're not Baptists. They're like, they believe like you should have a war, you should be peaceful, and how you pick on people like who are nerds. I mean, maybe part of that plays a role when Lutherans start killing off Mennonites and Amish people. But yeah, even now, um, yeah, I went to Philmont Christian Academy, which is a Presbyterian Christian school, and we used to play like Mennonites because they, like Mennonites types, Anabaptists like Friends, Abington Friends, like these Mennonite type schools, like Anabaptist schools. Quakers are Mennonites. I mean, Quakers are Anabaptists. They're different types of Mennonites. The Amish are the really conservative Anabaptists. Mennonites are like the medium. Quakers are the most liberal. But they're like same group. So they're the group that Lutherans killed off and Calvinists killed off in Germany and France. Yeah. And they're both Protestants, but they just long history of conflict. And that's why you don't really have like Presbyterians bearing Mennonites or Lutherans bearing Mennonites, because there's a bitter history, because a lot of Mennonites were killed at the hand of Lutherans as an official policy. Like Calvinists and Lutherans killed off Mennonites. So Mennonites kind of hate Presbyterians. Mennonites hate like Lutherans. There's that history. Yeah, because a lot of them were killed off. I mean, like, like it's their ancestors, right? So every Mennonite has somebody, like if they've been Mennonite for hundreds of years, like Lutheran, like if they've been Mennonites or like Amish or, Quakers for hundreds of years, they have somebody who were killed off by Calvinists and Lutherans. So they're really bitter against Calvinists and Lutherans. What can you do? Life is life. People have wars. What can you do, right? Yeah. So, but anyway, and no Lutheran apologizes really. I mean, they may say it, but they're lying. Presbyterians, no Presbyterian really apologizes for having slaughtered Anabaptists, like whole villages, like women, children, and because Christian wars are genocidal. Geneva Convention is like a new thing. Like during the Reformation era, Martin Luther, John Calvin, they slaughter like whole villages, women, children. That's just the way people fought wars back then. So we say Christian wars are genocidal wars. Yeah, it goes back to Joshua's days. They just kill everybody: women, children, babies, elderly, disabled. And that's just the way that Christians have waged war since Joshua. Before Joshua, even during the Book of Judges. So that's just the Christian way of waging war. Yeah, but anyway, they don't apologize for it. You will not find the Presbyterian apologizing to Mennonites for having slaughtered their villages in Germany or France. But anyway, yeah, that's just the way life is. Yeah, that's history. What can you do? Just move on. Yeah, the next group of people who choose to have war is they have war for love, and we call these guys idiots because they wage war for love. I mean, like, yeah, like love of a woman. I'm like, there's so many women in the world. If you're not a Christian, just like dump one and then find another beautiful one. What's the problem? And we're talking about people who are not Christians, But anyway, but some of them are more religious, but the ones that I refer to are not religious. So I feel justified in kind of talking about them as idiots. Because they're whooped. Guys have a saying, if a guy like sticks with one woman for long, we call him whooped. Yeah, you're whooped. A woman wins in War of the Genders when she forces the guy to propose to her and marry her. We call that guy whooped. Getting married is like the worst thing that could happen to a guy. No, I mean, that's just the way guys think. Like, whenever a guy says, like, I'm engaged, all the other guys are like, hey, you sure about that? They're not happy for him. It's not like women. Like, women are like, oh, you're engaged, you're engaged. Oh, let me see your ring. Oh, how beautiful. You know how women are. Guys are like, man, you're whooped. You're going to marry her? Oh, jeez. That's how guys are. They don't, I mean, they may say, hey, congratulations, dude. But they're like, after he leaves the room, all the guys are like, he's whooped, man. He's just like, he lost that gender war. In the minds of men, there's only one way women can win against men. And that is if a woman can get a guy to marry her, then she's won. We see that as like ultimate defeat, ultimate surrender, like unconditional surrender, because like you are choosing to marry this woman, she's going to live with you, tell you what to do for the rest of your life. Man, that's an unconditional surrender. No guys celebrate when guys get engaged. Guys just they don't feel good about the guy like biting the dust. The song Another One Bites the Dust? That's, it's like another guy got engaged, man, or married. Another guy bit the dust. Yeah, I mean, I don't know too many men who get excited about other men who and yeah, among Christians, yeah, we should be excited. But even in Christian circles, yeah, men are not that excited when a guy gets engaged. Because we have that biological instinct that sees like marriage as defeat. Woman has won. The female gender has beaten one of our own. Another one bit the dust. It's like losing a guy in a war, gender war. That's the only way a woman can win against a guy in the mentality of men. There is absolutely no way a woman can beat a man in the minds of men. They just, only way you can win is if you force one of us to marry you, then we respect you because you have induced unconditional surrender in one of our own. You have beaten them into unconditional surrender. You have got him to marry you. My gosh, you deserve respect for that. You have domesticated a guy who should be free. So we respect women who could get the guy to propose to her. Most men do not respect women who, who's just like letting the guy screw her, have sex with her without getting the ring. We're like, yeah, man, she's just giving her milk away for free. Yeah, most men don't respect women like that. I mean, they're not gonna say anything because they're not gonna, they don't want nagging, nag, 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 talk, 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 blah, 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 blah. Guys hate it when women talk, like nag them, like taming of the shrew, like naggers. Guy, I don't know any guy who likes nagging, like yapping, women yapping at them. I don't know any guy. I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, guys try to like run away when women start talking. They do. They just don't. They consider that hell on earth for women to talk to them. Yeah, I mean, if you have a boyfriend, you probably know what I mean. Because you start talking, the guy like phases out, and maybe you've been dumped a lot because you just nag the guy, you know, because that's what guys do. Like if women start snagging, you're like, it's not worth it, you know, just dump her. Yeah, that's just the way guys are, you know. You can't change us really. It's built in biologically. We just don't like to be nagged. But you know, obviously, if you're married, you have to let the woman nag you because you have unconditionally surrendered yourself. That's why we respect women who could get the guy to propose to her and that her ring is on his hand, like as a symbol of his servitude to you. You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, guys want to just screw as many women as possible. I mean, how many guys are considered like whores? You know, nobody. You know, like fathers pet their sons in the back if like he like have sex with 100 women. I don't know too many men in any culture who won't pet their son in the back if like he's like, Dad, I had like sex with 100 women. Even Christians. Yeah, even like devout Christians. But like, you know, how many men want their daughter to have sex with 100 guys? They're like, my daughter is a whore, you know, or my sister is a whore. She's had sex with like 5 men, 10 men, you know. Yeah, I mean, it's a complete different way of looking at it. It's just built into men's system. Yeah, only way men loses is if the woman, you know, forces a marriage out of a man. You know, because men, I don't know any man who respects the woman the day after. Just yeah, if you let the guy have sex with you, he's not going to respect you the day after. He'll pretend just to be a nice guy. I don't know a single guy who respects a woman after having sex with her. I don't even like the ugliest guy in the world after like he has sex with like a $1 billion model. He's gonna be like, oh, I won. Like she's my whore now. She's my, you know, that's how guys are. The woman you give the guy sex, you know, like you're just a whore in the guy's mind. You know, that's just the way guys are. I mean, you know, what can you do? You know, obviously, I think that's wrong that you view women that way, but they do. You know, all the guys out there know that's how they view the women. You know, as President Trump, as Joe Biden. Yeah, well, not when his wife is around because he's gonna lie. But yeah, I'm 100% sure that's how Ralph Northam thinks. Tom Byer, yeah, because they're guys. That's how guys think. Yeah, but anyway, so there are these guys who fight wars for women. And these I call like losers. And so Mark Anthony was one of them. You know, he fell in love with Cleopatra, and he like abandoned his country and fought war against his own country because of a woman, because of his love for women. What a loser, you know. I mean, like there's so many beautiful women in the world. You like stick with one and like betray your country. Jeez, you know. But anyway, Julius Caesar did the same. Like he fell in love with like Cleopatra, and like he pastored the child with her, uh, and then brought him to Rome. So whooped. These two guys are whooped. But yeah, there are these guys who are whooped, who fight war, and they end tragically. Like Caesar lost the respect of all the men. As I told you, men don't respect women. Men don't respect men who get whooped. Just the way it is. And so they stabbed him to the death. Ides of March. See, you think that Ides of March happened because like of a character flaw? No. Julius Caesar is probably one of the most perfect men that you will find, an alpha male. But the moment that he got whooped by Cleopatra, most people considered him no longer an alpha male. And that's why all his best friends were willing to stab him to death because they no longer consider him an alpha male. That's what happens when guys think you're whooped. Yeah, this is why like guys don't want to be whooped. Like they dump a girl just to prove that they're not whooped. If you're a guy, you know what I mean. And this goes for police officers, this goes for senators, this goes for House of Representative members. Like, yeah, yeah, men would dump a woman that they've been dating for 2 years because a bunch of guys teased them about being dumped, being whooped. Yeah, I've seen it happen all the time. This happens. If your girl is like giving sex away for free, expect this to happen, you know? I mean, yeah, if a pretty girl walks by and she's willing to bat him an eye, yeah, he's gonna dump you without thinking. Yeah, 2 years of relationship will be thrown out the window without even a blink. Guys don't regret things like that. You know, if you're with a prettier woman, the guy doesn't think. Yeah, it's like 90%. Unless you're like whooped guy like at Mark Anthony or Julius Caesar, then you know you lose the respect of all the men. You know, that's a bad situation to be in. You know, like best friends try to like destroy your relationship with a woman because they think like you're losing your alpha status. So they'll sabotage a relationship of their best friend if they think he's whooped. Yeah, because they don't want him to lose respect among men. Women, you probably didn't know that, right? That some men intentionally go and try to sabotage relationships of their best friends if they think he's whooped. Yeah, this happens. Um, yeah, because you know, like being a best friend in the male mind is to ensure that, like, you know, he's not whooped. You know, so yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, why don't you just, you know, if you think you don't believe me, just tell a guy you're whooped and see what happens. Yeah, that goes from girls too. Let's say you're living with a guy right now, and you've been living with him for like a year, and he tells you he loves you, and he says, "Ah, you're whooped." Just say it once and see what happens. Yeah, I dare you. I dare you to say that. If you're a girl, I dare you to say that and see what happens. He may dump you on the spot. The guys are very sensitive about that being whooped. Yeah, because you know it's like admitting like you're a loser if you're whooped. For guys, it's better to be not better to have a no girlfriend than be whooped. Yeah. No girlfriend is a higher status than being whooped, and that's why you know you have the song "No Woman No Cry." No woman, no cry. You know that song because no woman you could at least cry, but you're like with men crying together. But if you're whooped, then you're like, oh man, he's whooped. You know that? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. You're, you're like at the bottom of the totem pole among men if you're whooped. That's like the worst you could be is whooped. Yeah. But anyway, so let's go move on to the next category of people who choose war. That's civil war. And civil war is a lot of people say it's about slavery. It's not about slavery. That's like a bunch of liberals twisting the facts. Civil war is about people fighting for their home. So Robert E. Lee, one of the men that I really respect, he's a good Christian, you know, was a gentleman. He was kind to everybody. He said in his you know letters, he's fighting for Virginia because Virginia is home. He's fighting for his home because he was loyal to the United States of America. He was so loyal to the United States of America when he had a chance to destroy Washington, D.C., he did not. He had a chance to destroy Washington, D.C. after the Battle of Bull Run. All he had to do is march up there, Washington, D.C., destroy it, kill President Lincoln, he would have won the war. But because he loved the United States so much, because he was the commander-in-chief of the United States military forces, because he loved the United States so much, he didn't want to destroy Washington, D.C., he didn't want to kill President Lincoln. That's why the South lost the war, because of his love for the United States. Yeah, sometimes love can destroy you, right? Love is a weakness. Yeah, and that's why they try to marry people off, right? Kingdoms marry the son to the daughter as an alliance because love and marriage will prevent people from attacking your country. Love is a weakness among soldiers. That's why if there's a war between Russia and America, FBI agents who are married to Russian women will be suspected. They'll probably have their security clearances downgraded and probably sent to like Africa. where there is an allegiance problem. Yeah. Yeah, love is a weakness, right? And you know that love is a weakness, like you make yourself vulnerable in love. And for Robert E. Lee, his weakness was his love for America because he went to West Point. He led the United States military as its commander in chief before the Civil War, had many victories with it. He respected President Lincoln. And so he didn't want to kill him. But that's his weakness, right? Because he loved President Lincoln and he loved the United States. Yeah, and that's why the South lost. I mean, it's very simple. South could have won the war in 6 months. If Robert E. Lee wasn't such a gentleman, and if he didn't love Lincoln and the United States, after Battle of Bull Run, his march on up there in Washington, D.C., sack and burn everything down and kill President Lincoln, he would have been, North would have lost the war. Standing there in 6 months. Yeah. But, Robert E. Lee said, he didn't want to fight against the United States because he loved the United States, but he's like, when I have to choose between my country and my family, Virginia, he considered as his family, and his family lived in Virginia. He said, I'll choose my family over my country. So that's why he joined the war. Yeah. I mean, I know some people are like trying to tear down Robert E. Lee statue, and I call them haters because he's a good man, and people who want to tear down Robert E. Lee statues, I call them evil. Anybody who wants to tear down Robert E. Lee statue, I see them as evil people because he's a good man. But they objectify him and they treat him like dirt, because of like the image that they have of them. They're like racist, prejudiced, against Robert E. Lee. I respect Robert E. Lee. And I stand against everybody who tried to tear down his statue. I just think it's absolutely wrong to try to do that. These are haters. Probably Antifa! Antifa people are like that. Yeah. Haters, what I call them. Antifa haters. I love Robert E. Lee. Not as much as I love, Stonewall Jackson was Presbyterian. We have a shared faith, shared perspective on the war. And, yeah, I like that man, Stonewall Jackson. Most Americans like Stonewall Jackson. Unless you're Antifa! If you're Antifa, you don't like Stonewall Jackson. But if you're not Antifa, I mean, when I was in Philadelphia, which is north, everybody I knew liked Stonewall Jackson. They're all from the north. They're all Yankees. They like Stonewall Jackson. I don't know a single Yankee in Philadelphia who didn't like, Stonewall Jackson. Unless they're Antifa! Yeah. These Antifa people are just like socialist, Marxist, criminal. But anyway, yeah. So I hope you enjoy my show. Yeah, so you learn something new every day. If you're a woman, you learn about men, things that your father will never tell you, your brother will never tell you, your boyfriend will definitely never tell you because he'll make dump you next week, after 3 years of living together. Because that's how guys are. He'll just walk away, honey, I'm so sorry. We just fell out of love. You know how much I love you. For 3 years we lived together, and you know how much, we talked about getting married, and I didn't think this could happen. I didn't think this could happen, that I would fall out of love with you, honey. But I just fell out of love. I can't lie to you. I have to be honest with you in terms of like how I feel. Because I think it would be wrong for me to carry on a lie with you. Because I don't know what happened, but I just don't love you anymore. And I feel so bad about that. I wish I could change it because of all the things we shared, but that's how guys are. And you're like, oh, it's okay. I understand. The girl will be like that. And then, like 2 weeks later, he's married. Like he rushed the wedding with some girl who would not have sex with him, unless they're married. Yeah, that's just how guys are. Yeah. If you give him the milk, why should he buy the cow? Yeah, anyway, yeah, so I'm glad you enjoyed my show. Check back tomorrow for more interesting, exciting episode. And don't forget to vote for me on November 3rd, 2020. I'm running for U.S. Congress in Virginia's 8th District, Arlington, Alexandria Falls, Church, and Fairfax County. With Heerak as your representative, you're not only going to have a good person representing you, you will be getting the truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. And you will have fun. Having you as representative Heerak will be fun for Arlington, Alexandria, Falls Church, and Fairfax County. Yeah. So anyway, so don't forget to vote for me on November 3rd. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow because it's a daily show. Lucky for you, there's another fun show you can look forward to in 24 hours. So I'll see you tomorrow and have a good time in 24 hours. Maybe do some marches. Hey, it seems like it's a get out. You march with people. Hey, it's probably good for your mental health. Just to be walking and marching in the street. Yeah. So drop by Washington D.C. March with the people. Kneel with the people. Pray with the people. Hey, if that's what you want to do, just don't join Antifa. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. No, I mean, if you want to join Antifa, join Antifa. I just personally don't like Antifa, but yeah. But anyway, I hope you will be well and that your family will be well. And look forward to seeing you tomorrow. So have a nice 24 hours, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.